Okay, here we go. So here's what I'm going to do for a couple days, just so y'all know, give y'all the plan. I'm going to do short little videos, really short ones, just to show you guys just how the other race is manifesting so big time in front of our face. That's why Jesus said you'd be a hypocrite to be able to look at the weather and tell the weather, but you couldn't tell the signs of the time. Because if you've been set apart from them, they are so easy to see. It's literally absurd. It's crazy how obvious it's become now. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're looking from above down on a group of trees, like a forest. Okay, so if you have a bird's eye view and you're looking down at a forest, like a massive sprawling forest, and then you come to the edge of the forest and all the trees stop, and then you take a tree and you put it way far away from the edge of the forest, so a single solitary tree stands alone apart from this massive forest. That's what it's like. Because if you've been set apart, then you can see. But if you're part of the forest, you can't see. It's like because you're part of it. You haven't been picked up and set away from it. I got set away from it in 2002, and I'm watching it manifest to a degree that it's insane. It's off the hook. I mean, the TV, advertising, logos, it's everywhere. It's just changing. So what that is the whole system has been converted into something else. And they're openly declaring it right in front of you. I don't know if you guys have seen, like I saw on TV. You know what? Let me just show you some real quick before we do this Gen Air thing. Let me give an example. Watch. I'll give you a good example. So on TV, there's a series. I don't watch series on TV. I don't watch a lot of TV. Sometimes I'll have it on and I'll look over and I'll just be like, you got to be kidding. It's nonstop. It's literally nonstop in your face. The stuff I show you every day, it's nonstop. So anyway, so let me stay on task. So one of these series is called Humans. There we go. Humans. I'm gonna Humans TV series logo. There we go. So there you go. Now just take a look. I mean, anyone that's got eyes to see. What is up? Why is the A upside down? So why does this one say real humans and the A is right side up? Look at this. Humans. The A is upside down. Humans. A is upside down. Yeah, I saw one like this where the eye is green and it's a group of people and their whole group. Like, yeah, here they are. This is the group of guys. And anyway, but I saw this one and it looks like a dragon's eye. It had these people, but they have the A upside down like this. There you go. They turn it upside down. Made in our image, out of control, out of our control. Made in our image, out of our control. And look at the A is upside down. So ask yourself, why would you put the A upside down? What's the point? Because it's a message. It's the truth. That's what I keep saying. The truth is in you, you'll see the truth of everything. You'll just be like, we're not in Kansas anymore. So let me show you this JENN Air commercial real quick. I want to point out something first. Okay, so before we start, just let's take a look right here at this girl's leg. What's on her leg? I know what that is. I've seen it. It's in one of my Apollyon folders. And of course, she's walking on, the typical black and white checkered board. But yeah, I know what that is. That's the star of Virginia, the star of Ishtar. And the occult meaning behind it is demonstrable as it gets. It's so easily demonstrated what you're looking at. It's like, I mean, if anyone's awake, there's no way you couldn't know what this commercial's about if you're awake. Now, maybe you didn't sit there and analyze it like I did, but if I'm showing it to you and you're awake, you've awakened from your deep sleep that you were in. Arise, O sleeper, wake up from the dead, and Christ will give you light. Wake up. Watch this. Let me show you what this is about. First of all, let me just remind you guys, you remember the Bud Light Ian? Hi, I'm Kelly. The name Kelly means female warrior. If I give you this, are you up for whatever happens? That's what she said to Ian. Ian means gift of God, and they shook right in front of the light because she was going to take his light. And so when they shook hands, it was right in front of the light. She goes, hey, if I give you this, are you up for whatever happens? It's a Bud Light. Her name's Kelly. Kelly means female warrior. I mean, and gift from God, the light. So she's winking at him. Those that wink the eye devise perverse things. They bring evil to pass. And just, here's a few tattoos, Medusa. And is she smoking a cigarette or is that breath? That's like breath. And the word breath is spirit. And I'll show it to you in the Bible because that's what this JENN Air commercial is all about. They're saying they've accomplished their goal again. Let me show you this young lady's tattoo on her back. And it's taken in front of this wall on purpose to cast the shadow for the duality. That's why it's done like that. They know what they're doing. Now, you see this line of breath right here going into the mouth? That is going in. That is being pulled in. Did you know that I know about cellular respiration because I took it in college? There is what's called a snare in cellular respiration, a snare. Yeah, look up ATP production. Absolutely unbelievable. So she's sucking in the breath and there's a shadow. So now let's watch this. So these tattoos, they're sucking in the breath. Let me prove to you breath means spirit. Okay, and you guys can go look this up repetitively all through the Bible. Just go look it up. And whatever scripture you want, just go look up the word spirit. I just went to Ezekiel because he says, I'll give you a new spirit and a new heart. A new heart also I will give you and a new spirit. Look, spirit, look, wind, by resemblance, breath. Okay, figuratively, life. Okay, so let me get that a little better right there. There we go. So by resemblance, breath. So spirit means breath. I will give you a new heart and a new breath I will put in you. Okay, that's exactly what the Bible says. Now, let's again go to this image. Let's see. Okay, so let me enlarge this for you. You see what's on her leg right here? Now I want to remind you of something. In Daniel 12, okay, Daniel 12, this goes all the way back to the alley again. I told you, when you pray to this female energy, mother goddess, it equals death. That is the rival of God. Okay, so Daniel 12 says there shall be a time of trouble. I showed you, I'll show you the definition again. I'm not going to assume anybody knows. Here is a female, and on her leg she has the star of Virginia, the star of Ishtar. Okay, and I'll show you that. Let me show you Daniel 12 real quick. Okay, so let's see. Here we go. Daniel 12. And at that time shall Michael the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble ever since there was a flight of locusts. Look, the word trouble right here, I just clicked on it, 68, 69, right there. It means female rival, affliction, tribulation. But the first declination of the word is female rival. So the Great Tribulation is the time of the female rival. Goes all the way back to the alley. Now you say, Hail Mary, life and light left my body, death. So that's when death is coming. So shall Michael stand up, and there shall be a time of female rival, trouble, tribulation, ever since there was, look at the word nation, a flight of locusts, foreign nation, hence Gentile, flight of locusts. Okay, now let's just go look at Revelation 9, and they had a king over them that was the angel of the bottomless pit. This, now don't forget, this is Revelation 9:11. Okay, what happened here on 9:11? The twin towers, like Cain and Abel, twin towers got bombed, and then they put them into the One World Freedom Tower on the same spot. The two became one. And that's what they're saying. We've taken over. That's all they're saying. The two DNAs have been converted to something else. Yes. Now watch. Okay, so they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, who has the name of Apollyon. Okay, who has a king over them? The locusts have a king over them. And what are these locusts like? Well, they have tails like scorpions, as scorpions of the earth have power, and that they're going to sting men. And the torment was the torment of a scorpion when he striketh the man. That men shall seek death and shall not find it. Death shall flee from them, because they're probably being turned into something else. It's probably just like the movie Aliens, the greatest horror the world's ever seen. That's what Jesus said. That's what's coming. Okay, the shapes of the locusts were like horses prepared unto battle. We've been through all that. I've shown you that's the same exact thing that's at the Vatican under the list of popes. They had tails like unto scorpions, and the stings were in their tails, and that their king is the angel of the bottomless pit, which is Apollyon. Okay, that is the Bible. Okay, so let's look at the eight-pointed star real quick. Okay, the eight-pointed star is the star of Ishtar in Babylon, and it's, it stands for the morning star. It is the eight-pointed star, the symbol of the dragon. It is, let's see, hang on, there you go. 1 second. Okay, it is Venus, the eight-pointed star of essence. Okay, so when you know what this symbology stuff is, it's really easy to see what they're doing. That's why Jesus said you'd be a hypocrite to know the weather, but not to be able to discern the weather, but not the signs of time. Because a hypocrite's someone that wears a mask, which is everybody that's in the forest. You have to be picked up and set apart from all the other trees. Because if you're not set apart, you're still one of them. Do you get it? You're still, and when I say that, I'm not being condescending. I'm just mean, do you get it? So there's all these trees in the forest, and they just go on and on and on. But if you're in it, you're in it. You can't see it because you're in it. But when you get set apart from it, you can go, whoa, look, oh my gosh. And that's what we're going to do right now. Let's do it. Let's look at it. So the eight-pointed star is the star of Venus. It represents the morning star, which is Lucifer. Everybody should know that much. Venus, they use that commonly as Lucifer. And Revelation 9:11 is the angel of the bottomless pit. Now listen to what they say here. And I'm only gonna pause it at one place when this car pulls up in the driveway, because someone pointed this out and they're absolutely correct. Look at that. Oh, weird. 9:11, 9:11. All you got to do is turn it upside down and backwards. Remember, I told you, unless you make the things of the right hand as those of the left. and those of the left as those of the right, and those above as those below, you will have no knowledge of the kingdom of heaven. That's what Peter said when he was hanging from the cross. A lot of people go, oh, well, that's the Acts of Peter. Yeah, it is. But it's been proven over and over again, even by virtue of the fact that the whole Vatican is called St. Peter's Royal Abode of the Serpent. I mean, it's just impossible not to try and argue with the data. It's impossible. So there's a 9/11 and there's a 9/11. I'm not sure what the L and the O stand for, but here we go. So the car that pulls up has 9/11 twice. I think that is extremely significant. We've already had 9/11 in our lifetime. For those of us that are old enough, we've seen 9/11 in 2001, right? September 11th, 2001, 9/11. Okay, well, there's going to be another 9/11. You know that, right? And that's when that their angel of the bottomless pit takes his front and center stage. He's going to take stage center. He's coming. It says it in the Bible, he's coming. Okay, here we go.
Luxury. We've been programmed. Told how it's supposed to look. Supposed to feel. Supposed to act. But we're done listening. Let's torch this tired act. Watch it burn.
I'm going to go back for just one sec. Did you notice the flames were upside down? Watch it burn. Did you notice that's bought with intent? The flames, I mean, that is with extreme intent. The flames are upside down. Watch it burn, because they want to watch the old system that's been made slaves burn, the ones that were turned upside down, because that's what they're using as fuel for their fire. That's the breath that they're stealing. They're stealing our breath.
From the ashes comes freedom. Freedom from trends, from false influence, and empty symbols. At JENN Air, we answer only to progress.
See, right there, we answer only to progress. Well, what progress is that? Well, at that moment of at that very moment of the commercial, let's see, what progress are they talking about? We answer only to progress.
Progress.
They have sucked up the breath, the spirit. We answer only to progress. Watch the rest of the commercial. Listen to the words. They have their female warrior coming on the stage, the girl walking down the hallway with the star of Satan on her leg, star of Venus, the morning star. I mean, you know, this doesn't even require any intellectual thought. It's just like, wow, they're just coming out and saying, you would be a hypocrite to be able to discern the weather, but not be able to discern the signs of the time. I mean, this stuff is everywhere. Look at humans. Okay, so there it is. Oh, wow.
And now, we rise anew.
Now we rise anew, awoken, both eyes open.
Defiant. Limitless. JENN Air.
Okay, so let's go back for a second. Let me look at this. The symbology on everything will be important. I'm not gonna go through it all, but I guarantee you, if you stop and look and you enhance, you'll see all the symbology. She's got the sun right there. Is all important.
Limitless. JENN Air.
Okay, and there she was upside down. Oh, What do we have here? Is that a tongue sticking out of the side of your mouth? Like the largest altar in the world? A big dead sheep with its tongue out? See, you'd be a hypocrite not to be able to discern the signs of the time. I mean, look, there's the tongue. Teeth, tongue right out of the side of the mouth. The girl was upside down. This is so obvious, it's a joke.
Bound.
I want to slow that down. Yep, there you go. And it looks like there's blood on her teeth, see? Check that out. Now, when they switch the color, look at that. That's like blood on her teeth. I mean, y'all do see this, don't you? You see what is this a commercial to buy a stove or a refrigerator? Bound by nothing? Are you kidding? No.
Bound by nothing.
Because they burned it all up. Okay, anyway, so I'll just keep it short. That's as short as I'm going to make it. I'll try and keep them short. There's always so much to say on any of this stuff because it literally just goes on and on and on and on and on. There's no end to this stuff. It's pervasive. All right, so anyway, I'm going to start organizing those folders. Thanks, you guys, for praying. I had a super miracle happen yesterday. My blood pressure, I had to go to the doctor because the pain in my head was so bad. I went to see a friend of mine that runs an ER clinic, and my blood pressure was 169 over 111. Well, I want to show you a miracle because this is pretty cool. The Lord, I was praying. I'm like, well, Lord, I don't get it, man. What's up? What am I supposed to do? And so, I was sitting right here and I was praying and then I was asking the Lord, what am I supposed to do about this? And he showed me faith healing, and I was like, faith healing? No, and I'm sorry I'm laughing, but I'm like, okay, well, you've had me lay hands on other people, but what am I supposed to do? You know, what I don't get it. I was being very honest. Sometimes the Lord will tell me something I don't have any clue what he's saying. I'm like, I don't get it. Have faith healing. A friend of mine called up out of nowhere. I never really talked to this friend at night. Just because he works all day and, you know, just because of his life circumstances, I don't talk to him a lot unless it's between 6 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon. And that's usually in our time we contact. But he called me, I don't know, maybe around 9 at night. And I was sitting here just kind of lamenting, like, what the hell's going on with my blood pressure? And I won't take blood pressure meds, no way. And so, and high blood pressure is not something that I'm, you know, that I deal with. And I was just like, what in the heck's going on? And the Lord told me faith healing. So this friend of mine calls up and he asked me how I'm doing. And I said, you know, I'm actually kind of jacked up, man. Some bad, weird stuff is going on. And so he said, well, let's pray. So this friend of mine prayed with me and over me. And look what my blood pressure went down to. 116 over 88 from 169 over 111. That's like stroke material. And I said, Lord, what's going on? And the Lord showed me, you're under attack. Oh, like that last video I did, I just want to, you know, connect with you guys. You know, I needed to get that out of me because I've started internalizing, you know, some of the enemy's attacks. And the Lord told me, no, just let it go. Pray for them. The Bible tells us to pray for our enemies and bless those that curse you. And, you know, pray for those who curse you and bless those that despitefully use you. Do you know why we're told to do that? That way we don't become under their influence. We don't become their slave because If you let a bitter root of resentment spring up within you, then they end up owning you. And that's why the trolls do their thing. So when you see comments from trolls on my channel, bless them. Tell them God bless you. Because they're going, I mean, if they're trolling the truth, just think where that puts them. That puts them in the pit for all of eternity. So they've got to be minions of the forest. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there doing what they're doing. You get it? So the Lord just put it to me. Just pray for your enemies always. And that keeps you free of them trying to control you with feelings of anger or feelings of, like, yeah. Anyway, so just giving you a little explanation. So I don't know. Hopefully that'll help you. I know a lot of people have family members that have turned against them. I mean, it's like I've had everybody that was close to me basically turn against me, most everybody. And the Bible says that's what's going to happen in the end. Your worst enemies will be members of your own household. In another place, Jesus said, in the end, families will be divided. There will be two for me or three against me, or the other way around. And he even says, remember, I have warned you. Because the whole race is turning to something else. And when the truth lives inside of us, we become toxic to their system. That's why they want to get rid of us. They want to get rid of all the sheep. Did you notice in the JENN Air commercial, wasn't there a bunch of sheep? Let's watch it again from here.
But we're done listening. Let's torch this tired act. Watch it burn. From the ashes comes freedom.
Wow. From the ashes comes freedom. So the last thing they said before you saw all the sheep was what? From the ashes comes freedom. And then just analyze it. Just, analyze it. Use the mind that the Lord gave you and just sit there and go, okay, what was the last thing they said before they showed the sheep? Let's see what it was.
But we're done listening. Let's torch this tired act. Watch it burn.
I'm going to pause it. When they said, let's torch this tired act, was that a cross on top of the crown?
Let's torch this tired act.
I believe it was. Yeah, there's a cross. See the cross? Let's torch this tired act.
Watch it burn.
Watch it burn.
From the ashes comes freedom.
From the ashes comes freedom. So let's torch this tired act. Watch it burn. Upside down flames. And sheep. I mean, really? Wow, that makes me want to go buy a JENN Air refrigerator. I think I can't stop myself right now. I think I'm going to run to Best Buy and say, do you guys have a JENN Air fridge? I've just got to have one. Your commercial was just so amazing. I want a JENN Air. I don't know why, but I feel like cooking sheep too. So stupid. Okay, anyway, there it is. All right, guys, God bless.
Freedom from trends, from false influence, and empty symbols. At JENN Air, we answer only to progress. And now, we rise anew.
I like that. Now we rise anew. I like the spinning circle on the motorcycle of flames. It's kind of like the Ouroboros.
Awoken. Defiant. Limitless. JENN Air. Bound
Crazy.
by nothing.
Well, there you go. Okay, well, All right, folks. There's a little short video that I'm doing today. Now I'm going to go start organizing. We're going to get some folders put together. We're going to drop some freaking information bombs on the world. All right. God bless you guys. And again, thank you for all the kind comments. I really appreciate it. I read, some comments about, how to deal with family members and stuff. Did y'all know that we're seed scatters? Let me give you a little bit of advice because I've been through this and I've seen a lot of people I know that have been through this. They didn't listen to me at first, but once they figured it out, they got a hold of it and they were like, yep, I should have listened. Listen to me. If you're trying to share this information with someone, the stupidest thing you can do is try and shove it down their throat. A very wise man, friend of mine named Jack, he's kind of a country fella, and he's got those country smarts, and I appreciate those. He brought up a really good point. He said, if you see a hungry dog in a parking lot, you can have a big steak, and you can try and go towards that dog, and it won't just come up and take that steak. It'll try to stay away from you. But if you just go set the steak down and leave it there, and you go off a little ways away, that dog will come up and get it. Now, I'm not saying it's always going to work like that, but there's some wisdom right there, because when you rush in and you try and shove this down everybody's throat, it's like the worst thing you can do. We're seed scatterers. We scatter seed. We are not responsible for the seed growing. We are not responsible for the watering of the seed. The Lord does all that. The seed of the truth we scatter. And let me show you a good way to scatter it. One thing I do sometimes, well, if I feel like I'm talking to someone that there might be an opening, I'll say, have you seen what's on the U.S. currency? And if they go, what are you talking about? I'll say, I'll pull out a $20 bill. I'll fold it up into a pentagram, say, does that look like the Twin Towers to you? And if they go, whatever, yeah, or they're like, man, well, then you know that the light's on, but nobody's home. There's not even any light on. There's nothing going on. So if they don't see that and go, what? Wait a minute. Dang, that sure looks like the Twin Towers. Then there's no point to even continue the conversation. You know what I mean? So you go, yeah, okay, well, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Looks like the Twin Towers to me. Backside looks like the Pentagon. And by that time, you're already going to know whether or not they're receptive or not. You don't sit there and try and show them all this stuff. They'll be like, ah, because it's too much at one time. You got to, just like the way the Lord had to dole it out to me over 16 years. It took 16 years to give me all this stuff. I'm like, and I'm still like a deer in the headlights. It's like, so if you rush at somebody and you try and give them all this information, it's too much. They're going to like, oh, they're going to short circuit. I would suggest the other way to do it is have them watch Kingdom Divided. The Kingdom Divided that's on my channel, the DVD. Have them watch Revelation of the End DVD. Have them watch You Are Exiles DVD. Those are like, if they really want to crack the egg, go watch a 3-hour presentation of like, if you want to do the short version, fold up a bill and say, does that look like the Twin Towers? And if they're like, whatever, just walk away. Okay? When you try and shove this down someone's throat, it doesn't work. That's not what scattering seed is. We're seed scatterers. We scatter seed. So if you put a seed over there and someone's like, oh, wow, wait, how come that's on there? And then you're like, wow, you want to see something really crazy? Here, watch this image of the virgin. Okay, well, we never show them the virgin first. Always show them the sheep. You always show them the truth first. You never show them the virgin first. Say, you see the dead sheep? The eyes, the tongue, they'll be like, yeah. And then go, why is it the virgin? You see what I mean? You got to use some wisdom. Little kids, you got to be careful. You don't want to overload a little kid. I mean, you really don't want to overdo it with little kids. They're little kids. They're they're not at the age of reason yet. You know, once you, that's what the bat mitzvah and bar mitzvah are all about. So if you have a kid that's, you know, under 12, you don't want to overload them with this stuff. That's too much for a little kid. Use some wisdom, you know? So anyway, yeah, don't just be so freaked out and excited you think you're supposed to inundate a 6-year-old's mind with all this information. That's too much, you know? The Lord's got it. Everyone thinks they're supposed to make sure everybody gets it. Let me help you out. It is not up to you whether or not anyone is going to understand this. You have nothing to do with it. You're a seed scatterer. The Lord will water it. The Lord will make it grow. He is the one, not you. And a lot of my friends have tried to force it on their family members. And I'm like, it's like, man, and then they're like, you're right, and then they go do it again, then the big explosion, then they're like, yeah, you're right, and then they do it again, big explosion. It's like, just leave it alone. Just leave it like a steak. If they're hungry, they'll come get it. Okay? Words of wisdom. All right, guys, God bless.